You turn off the light. You lie down. Everything was completely fine just 2 seconds ago. Then you hear it, a small sound coming from the hallway. Maybe it's the wind. Maybe it's just the house settling. It's probably nothing, but your heart is already racing. Your eyes are wide open in the dark. Your body has already decided that sound matters, and you didn't ask it to do that. You didn't choose to feel that way. It just happened. And that's exactly what makes it so unsettling, because you're a grown adult lying in your own home, fully aware that you're safe, and yet something inside you switched on without your permission. Here's the question nobody actually stops to ask. Why does your brain still react to darkness like something out there is hunting you? This isn't about being scared of the dark. It's about what your brain believes might be hiding inside it, and that's a very different thing. If you've ever laid in bed completely still, waiting to hear that sound one more time, drop a comment below, because you are not alone in this. Like this video if it's already hitting close to home, and subscribe so you don't miss what comes next. It only gets more interesting from here. During the day, that same sound means absolutely nothing to you. The house creaks, the wind pushes against the windows, something shifts outside, and you just keep moving. You don't stop. You don't think twice. Your brain filters it out automatically, because in the daylight your eyes can confirm there's nothing there. The information gets processed and dismissed in less than a second. But at night, with the lights off, that exact same sound becomes something else entirely. It feels louder. It feels closer. It feels like it has a purpose. And the strangest part is that you already know, on some rational level, that it's probably nothing. You know it, and yet your body completely ignores that information and goes on high alert anyway. Your breathing slows down, your muscles tighten, your ears start picking up every single detail in the silence, the kind of silence that somehow feels louder than noise. Your brain is no longer resting. It's scanning, it's searching, it's treating the darkness around you like a threat that hasn't fully revealed itself yet, and you didn't tell it to do any of that. That response, that automatic, uninvited shift in your entire nervous system, is not weakness. It's not anxiety. It's not your imagination running wild. It's something buried so deep inside you that no amount of logic, no locked door, no familiar bedroom can fully switch it off. And the reason it exists goes back much further than you'd expect. What's actually happening inside your brain when the lights go out is far more fascinating and far more ancient than it might seem. Out of every sense the human body has, vision is the one we rely on the most. We use it to read a room, to measure distance, to track movement, to understand what someone is feeling just by looking at their face. More than any other sense, sight is what allows us to process the world around us quickly, accurately, and confidently. It's our primary tool for staying oriented and staying safe. And in the dark, that tool is gone. Not weakened, gone. The details disappear. The distances blur. Movement becomes impossible to track. You can't read expressions. You can't judge depth. You can't confirm what your brain is trying to figure out. Every piece of visual information you normally rely on without even thinking about it simply stops being available to you. What makes that even more unsettling is what's happening on the other side of the darkness. While your most powerful sense shuts down, nocturnal animals are operating at full capacity. Owls can see in conditions that would be completely black to your eyes. Cats detect motion at light levels your brain can't even register. Certain predators can hear frequencies so far beyond human range that they'd know exactly where you are before you even sensed them nearby. In the environment you once shared with these animals, you were outmatched the moment the sun went down. That's the reality your nervous system hasn't forgotten. In the dark, the most intelligent, technologically advanced creature on the planet becomes something much more vulnerable. An animal without its greatest advantage, surrounded by a world it can no longer fully read. And your brain is completely aware of that shift. Which raises a deeper question about what it actually does when the information stops coming in. Here's something your brain does that most people never realize. When information stops coming in, it doesn't pause and wait. It fills the gap, immediately, automatically, and with whatever feels most likely to be dangerous. Your brain would rather be wrong about a threat than unprepared for one. And in the dark, where visual input is cut off, that filling process goes into overdrive. That chair sitting in the corner of your room looks completely harmless in the daylight. But at night, with your eyes struggling to make sense of the shadows, your brain takes that same shape and turns it into something else. A figure, something standing still, watching. The shadow stretching down the hallway stops being a shadow and starts being a person pressed against the wall. A distant sound stops being random noise and becomes footsteps getting closer. A branch tapping against your window becomes something outside that knows you're there. None of that is your imagination being dramatic. That is your nervous system executing a program that was written thousands of years ago, running exactly the way it was designed to run. Because throughout human evolution, the people who assumed the worst and reacted had a massive survival advantage. The ones who heard something in the darkness and thought it's probably nothing and happened to be wrong didn't survive long enough to pass that attitude down. So your brain inherited a very specific bias. Always guess threat first, ask questions later. Every false alarm is completely acceptable. Every missed threat could be fatal. That's the internal logic your nervous system still operates on, even inside a locked house in a modern city. And understanding that logic is just the beginning of understanding what's really happening when fear takes over at night. Think about the humans who came before you, not your grandparents, not even their grandparents, but the ones who lived thousands of years before any of that, the ones sleeping in open environments, without walls, without locks, without any of the systems we use today to separate ourselves from the outside world. For them, the night wasn't uncomfortable. It was genuinely dangerous. Now, think about two types of people in that world. The ones who heard something moving in the darkness and rolled over, decided it was nothing, and went back to sleep. And the ones who snapped awake, stayed completely still, listened harder, and didn't relax until they understood what had made that sound. The first group faced real predators, real threats, real consequences for that moment of calm. The second group survived. They had children, and those children carried that same wiring forward. You are here right now because your ancestors were the ones who woke up, the ones who took the fear seriously. The ones whose nervous systems treated every unknown sound in the dark as a potential threat worth staying alert for. That wasn't a flaw in their psychology. That was the exact trait that kept them alive long enough to eventually become you. So when you're lying in the dark tonight, heart rate climbing, ears locked onto a sound you can't quite identify, you're not being irrational. You're carrying something ancient. You're running a survival program that was tested and proven across thousands of generations of human life. The fear of darkness isn't a glitch. It's one of the most successful features the human brain has ever developed. And knowing that is just the first layer of what's actually happening inside you when the lights go out. There's something that happens the moment the world goes quiet that most people notice but never fully think about. The night seems to come alive. Not because more things are actually happening, but because your brain suddenly has the bandwidth to hear all of it. During the day, your mind is flooded with input, conversations, traffic, screens, music, movement. All of that noise acts like a filter, pushing smaller sounds into the background where they get ignored completely. But when that filter disappears, everything that was always there gets exposed. The house settling into the temperature of the night, the pipes shifting somewhere inside the walls, the wind finding a gap around a window frame and pushing through it. These sounds existed at noon, just as much as they do at midnight. The difference isn't the house. The difference is your brain finally has nothing louder to focus on, so it turns its full attention to everything else. And here's where it gets really interesting. Every single one of those sounds now needs to be processed and classified. Safe or threat, familiar or unknown, something to ignore or something to act on. Your brain is running that evaluation on every creak, every tap, every distant noise, constantly, automatically, without asking your permission. And when it can't immediately confirm that something is safe, it doesn't default to calm. It defaults to alert every single time. Because that's the only logical choice a survival system can make. Calm feels good, but calm doesn't protect you. Alertness does. Your brain has never been designed to prioritize your comfort over your safety, and nowhere is that more obvious than in the silence of the night. When every small sound carries a weight it simply doesn't have in the daylight. Picture exactly where you are right now, or where you'll be tonight. Maybe it's apartment 10 floors up, door locked, windows shut, security camera at the entrance, phone sitting right next to you on the bed. Every rational part of your mind can run through the list and confirm it. You are safe. The environment you're in was specifically designed to keep threats out. And intellectually, you know that. But your nervous system doesn't know what a 10th floor is. It has no category for deadbolt locks or reinforced windows or digital security systems. The body you're living in was shaped by something completely different, dark forests with no visibility. Open plains where shadows moved without warning. Caves where the entrance was the only thing standing between survival and something that wanted to eat you. Nights with no electricity, no walls, no guarantee that stillness meant safety. That's the world your biology was built for. And here's what makes this so remarkable. That system didn't get replaced when civilization arrived. It didn't update when we built cities or invented electric light. It's still inside you, completely intact, running the same code it always has. The same threat detection, the same alertness in the dark. The same refusal to fully relax when the lights go out, all of it still operating exactly as it was thousands of years ago. So maybe the darkness isn't frightening because there's something hiding in it. Maybe it's frightening because for the vast majority of human history, not knowing what was in the dark was one of the most dangerous positions a person could be in. Your body learned that lesson across thousands of generations, and no amount of modern comfort has been enough to make it forget. If this video made you see your own fear in a different way, if something here clicked, or made you pause, or made you think about yourself differently, then it did exactly what it was supposed to do. You didn't just watch a video. You looked at something ancient living inside you, and you recognized it. That's not a small thing. If you made it all the way here, this channel was made for you. Subscribe so you don't miss what's coming next. There's a lot more on how your brain works, why you do things that seem completely irrational, and what evolution is still running inside you without ever asking your permission. And if this one resonated, drop the word ancient in the comments. I read them, and I want to know this reached you. Leave a like if this opened something for you, and watch the next video. It's right there on your screen. See you in the next one.